When Rodney Reed was convicted of murder and sentenced to death, his jury never heard some of the information that we're hearing today from new witnesses, crime scene experts, and 4 different medical examiners. Now, Rodney's attorneys say that all of this scientific evidence proves Rodney deserves a new trial. Now, here's what Rodney has to say about all of this.
What do you make of the fact that they're not rushing to give you a new evidentiary hearing and bring all of this to light? Medical experts say it's medically and scientifically impossible for you to be the killer. They say she didn't even die of strangulation. If she died of anything associated with that, it was drowning. She had twice as much fluid in her lungs than what you would normally expect someone to have if they had been killed by strangulations. So that doesn't fit with their narrative about you.
You know more than I do.
There's also the point that the driver's seat of that pickup truck had the seatbelt clasp in place where you would sit on it instead of put it on, which is reportedly a common practice for law enforcement officers who have to be ready to make a quick exit. Do you sit on your seatbelt or do you put it on?
I put my seatbelt on.
But yet, here you sit.
All that we've uncovered and presented to the courts, and the courts are still unwilling to listen, you know, racism goes through my mind. They got the evidence. They shouldn't overlook what's been developed.
Well, Dr. Sarah Wecht is a renowned forensic pathologist who has investigated many famous cases, including President John F. Kennedy, Elvis Presley, JonBenet Ramsey. And he's joining us on satellite now to tell us what he discovered after looking at Stacey's autopsy report. In your opinion, do you believe that Stacey was murdered before midnight?
Yes, Dr. Phil. There is simply no question from a forensic scientific standpoint that Stacey Stites was murdered before midnight. I would say without hesitation that this is one of the clearest, unequivocal cases of gross misjudgment, of travesty of justice that I've ever seen. You can argue about a lot of cases, and Dr. Phil, you and I have talked about some of these. This case, there simply is no argument.
Well, let me tell you one thing additionally. This medical expert at the time, Dr. Roberto Bayardo, on August 13th of 2012 said time of death, if the prosecuting attorneys had advised me they intended to use my time of death estimate as a scientifically reliable opinion, I would have advised them not to do so. He went on to say survival of sperm, the spermatozoa I found in Miss Stites could have been deposited days before her death. And with regard to sexual assault, there is no indication that the spermatozoa was placed there in any fashion other than consensually. If their own witness says, you misinterpreted what I said, you misused what I said, I now tell you that that is wrong, it seems to me they have to own that problem and step back from that conviction.